It's so fascinating, Hugo, in the filing on Monday, but also in all the documents that the Trump people have tried to make public that they think helped them, sometimes amount to confessions of what he's done.
Yeah, so I think this document from the National Archives, this was originally released by a ally close to the president, so that was kind of shooting himself in the foot. But then the filing itself as well. I mean, they tried to make the claim that some of the documents that were removed from Mar-a-Lago are subject to executive privilege. If you start making that argument, you get into the territory where you're saying, well, these are actually official government records, and effectively conceding that they should have remained at the National Archives. They shouldn't have been at Mar-a-Lago in the first place. And so you have this almost concession that comes out of this filing, and I think only bolsters, again, one of the statutes listed on the search warrant, USC 2071, which concerns the unlawful removal and concealment of government records. So this was just all extraordinary.
Here's something that I do find confusing, and I wonder if it is Trump world's best argument. The president has broad leverage over what he can declassify. And as we've seen with broad leverage over who he can give a clearance, Jared Kushner was not given a clearance, and Donald Trump wanted Jared Kushner to have access to the highest level of intel, and Donald Trump had his way over the intel community. What are you hearing about that argument and how it's going to play out, that the president could have already declassified these documents?
Yeah, that's what they're really focused on, I think. They want to make this all about the classification. If you look at the statutes, though, in the search warrant, I think, I've said this and other people have said this, but the statutes don't turn on whether the documents were classified. All the statute says, like, are they sensitive national security secrets? Are they government secrets? And so, Kash Patel and people close to the former president have been making this argument that, he had a standing order to declassify. By the way, we've not seen any evidence of that whatsoever. But even if that were true, that doesn't excuse the fact that the former president can have all these national security documents lying around in Mar-a-Lago at a storage facility that's, not up to scratch.
You know what is kind of interesting, Eddie, when you look at this, when you look at the Trump people's arguments and the exposure that they have went to themselves with their arguments, is that you could have made these arguments 30 years ago in any case that Donald Trump was involved with, and there were many, real estate largely, and it all comes down to two elements: delay and deny. And that's what they're doing here.
Oh, absolutely. And I can't help, and you guys help me, I can't help but think about why, or ask the question, why did he want these documents? What's the purpose? And given who he is, I mean, I'm not the dean of the Harvard Law School.
Close.
Not even close. Not even close.
You were closer.
Why? I mean, aren't we worried that he would monetize this? I mean, he's like, an expert level grifter. I mean, the danger here is out of bounds, it seems to me.
Especially, Hugo, since we know from reporting that he was personally going through the boxes and screening through, like, what should go back to the archives and what belongs to me. Again, he kept saying, these documents are mine. They're not, of course. But he had a vested interest, as Eddie points out, in what he was surrendering, what he was keeping in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, and he went through, according to our reporting, and I think the Times as well, he went through a lot of these boxes himself when the Justice Department came knocking. He really identified the documents he wanted to return and what he didn't want to return. And then, of course, to your point about when he was leaving the White House, he was looking through what he wanted to take with him to Mar-a-Lago, and he was very secretive about his packing. He didn't want to let his aides. We actually spoke to several people in the East Wing who were involved in helping Melania Trump put their belongings together, and that was also the case for them. So people in the residence across the board were not really being able to see what Trump was putting into his own boxes, and I think it kind of certainly seems to satisfy or start to satisfy the intent level of this potential crime here, that he really wanted to take these documents.
He really sounds like the most reading Donald Trump's done in his lifetime. He actually
might have been the one with the charts and the graphs.
to get this stuff. That's what I find so awesome about the story. Not awesome, just wow.
Well, given his nature, given his history, given his lack of character, you can't help but think that he would look at a document and wonder what they'd pay to know this in Riyadh.
Well, remember the story from early 2017 when he became president. We were sitting out on the patio with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe talking about the North Korean missile test, just throwing it out there to the membership out on the patio. So nothing is beneath him. Hugo.